One of the reasons why you're drained is because darkness has been feeding off of your energy. I know that sounds quite awful. And a lot of you in the comment section, when I talk about these kind of subjects, you get kind of edgy and you go, oh, fear porn, and oh, you're just trying to stir up. It's clickbait. You're trying to make people scared. You know, you got to get real with where you live. You live on a hijacked planet in a body consciousness. The body, the physical form that you occupy is a food source. It was set up to be an energy source for beings who could not create and generate their own energy. There are beings of darkness who hate God. And because they hate God, they want to be separate from God. And because they want to be separate from God and reject a God, they want to create their own empire, their own very separate universe, their own very separate place of residence. And they want to live in that place without light, without this pesky character called God. They want to be God. And in their separation and in their arrogance and in their confusion, they believe that somehow that's possible. It is not. It is not possible for the thing that has been created by God's source consciousness to, in its separation, be bigger than, but in its unity and totality, together we can expand, and together we can grow, and together we can be bigger, right? That's what we're doing here. That is what the journey of individuated incarnations is all about. It's about the individual expanding, growing, learning, feeding that back into God's source consciousness, and together growing, because ultimately, you know that at a point you're going to unify with that place called home, which is the divine essence of God consciousness from whence you come. There are these arrogant beings who perceive themselves as so separate, and they want to be in that separation. They deny God. They deny their home with God. They've rejected all of it. And as a result of that, they cannot create. And because they cannot create, they need an energy to sustain them. And that is what humanity, or one of the purposes of humanity is. One of the purposes of humanity is to be a food or a fuel source for beings of darkness who cannot self-sustain. Another reason, because I'm sure people in the comments are going to go, well, if that was one reason, what was the other? The other reason why humanity is essential to darkness is because darkness cannot create. Not only can they not sustain themselves energetically, they also cannot create. So they need a populace to create on their behalf, sort of knee-jerk response. It's kind of like show a monkey a flashcard, get that monkey to respond in a certain way based on the flashcard that you're showing them, aka the news. That's going to cause or elicit a response, and that response is going to ripple into creation. It's how powerful you are. That's part of the great gift and the great divine talent of who you are. You are a creative being. See, if you knew what darkness knows about you, you would see yourself in a whole different light. Wait a minute, I generate so much energy. I generate so much life that I not only keep myself alive, but I'm hosting a whole lot of dark beings who are pretty weakened at this stage. And because they're very weakened, they're drawing much more than usual. The average human lifespan, we look at it as 60 years, 70 years, right? 75, whatever it is. I mean, 80, maybe even 90 if you're lucky. Whatever it is, if it's under 100 years, in the grand scheme of things, this is very small. This is not even a blip in the ocean. This is not even a dot on the map. The average human lifespan should be hundreds of years. So why are we so limited to such short lives? And there are numerous reasons, but one of them is because we're being drained. One of them is we're being totally drained. Now look at all the systems on this planet. The financial system is set about to drain resources. You go to work, which is a kind of a voluntary, sometimes not so voluntary, enslavement program, as is school. All of these things that you got to do, the so-called responsibilities of life, which ironically don't make a person responsible for their person. They make a person one who is taught to blame everybody else, but one who avoids personal responsibility. So the stuff that we've been calling responsibility is actually a very reversed, very perverse idea of what true responsibility actually is. True responsibility is when you are responsible for your thoughts, your actions, your energy field, for every word that you speak. That is when you are responsible. But right now we got a lot of people in blame. And why are they there? Well, they're drained, sure, because darkness is drawing on every last resource of light that it possibly can, because light is in the process of breaking away from the darkness. Light is in the process. Imagine if planet Earth was a hijacked ship, hijacked from the divine matrix, put into the false matrix. Beings of darkness have kept it there and been feeding off of the populace. Imagine now that much of that populace is coming to their senses, so to speak, being flooded with photonic light, because the universe is working with us. You're not alone. You're not doing this on your own. Ascension is not, me against the world. This is you being monumentally supported, albeit in an invisible way. The support is such that the planet, which has been hijacked, is being absolutely flooded with cosmic light, waking up much of the populace, bringing them back into coherence, bringing them back into alignment with themselves, at which point a miracle happens. And the miracle is this: you can no longer be a fuel source. You can no longer be fed upon. You can no longer be drained unconsciously by darkness when you are in your divine alignment. I'm going to come to divine alignment in a moment to bring it more clarity. But that's what stops you from being a fuel source for negative beings who cannot create and need to sustain through feeding off of your energy. It's why they're so desperate now, because so many people are coming into their enlightened energy field. I'm not saying people are enlightened. I'm saying they're coming into their enlightened field. They're beginning to connect. Imagine that there's the ego human self, and imagine that there is a true self. That true self is busy merging with that human ego self, which is setting about correcting an alignment. I want to talk about that misalignment. So that misalignment, remember I said planet Earth, imagine it being hijacked, plucked from the divine matrix, which is God's source, original creation, and put into a universe that the beings of darkness tried to mimic and to create their own God kingdom. Not doing a great job, but that's what they wanted to do. As this occurred, the only way that it was ever going to be possible was to make the populace forget that there was ever a true matrix, to make the populace so disengaged, disconnected from that memory. Couldn't have even been a distant, vague memory. So what they did is they tilted Earth's axis, which tilts your energetic axis. So these beings of darkness, the creator of the false creators, I should say, of the false matrix, what they did is they tampered with Earth, skewed Earth's alignment to such a level that the individual bodies were no longer in their divine alignment. So imagine, when I talk about the axis, I want you to imagine at the personal level, the chakric column. Imagine the chakric column being skewed. Imagine the chakric column, instead of reaching up to God, source, consciousness, home, the divine matrix from whence you come, there's no longer that ease of connection now. There is this skewed, misaligned connection. Hence our own confusion. Look at humanity. What is humanity portraying right now? Man, a couple of things, but confusion is absolutely one of them. Lots of bully behavior in humanity right now. Lots of coercion within humanity right now. Lots of, if you don't agree with me, then I'm going to call you a bad guy. I'm going to shame you, blame you, make you embarrassed to breathe. So there's this concept of the ultimate bully mentality. What is that? That is when humanity has been in their malalignment, that skewed axis, for so long that they begin to mimic the dark ones. They begin to take on the ways of, I say this in inverted commas, the dark lords, being those who hijacked Earth in the first place. When humanity begins to mimic the dark overlords, they begin to almost display narcissistic tendencies. In some cases, sheer psychopathic tendencies. And if you look at these beings of darkness, they don't make sense. They are so incoherent because they are out of coherence. They are out of their alignment. They pushed God away. They denied their connection and association. So we begin to take on that same psychopathy. We begin to take on those same tendencies within humanity when we maintain that skewed alignment. You've got to let light do what light's doing right now. What is light doing right now? Cosmic light is surrounding the hijacked planet right now. Cosmic light is flooding the planet right now, bathing your body in light. Your body needs to breathe it into its center. Breathe that light into yourself. Breathe that light into your heart. Breathe that light so that you feel a stillness and a calm and a presence and an essence of you. And in that soft, quiet moment, guess what happens? Guess what happens? Your alignment starts to come back online all by itself. But the magic secret key ingredient there was that you got silent, which basically means you got out of the mental chatter, and that's the magic unlock. If you can get out of the mental chatter and into stillness, you are going to find yourself reaping the rewards of this automatic alignment. And the final thing I want to share with you is this. People talk about the current energies. They say, oh man, why are the current energies so difficult? They're so intense. When is it all going to end? Well, it's not going to end. It's going to just keep going and amplifying, because what the current energies are doing is not being heavy. You cannot blame this on the current energies. What the current energies are doing is bringing up your heaviness. They're bringing up your density to dissolve. They're bringing up your mal-alignment to replace it with your true alignment. So get out of the brain, get out of your own way. Get out of the linearity, get out of the analytical behavior, and get into the soft core presence of you where life makes sense again. And just do that one thing. Focus on your own divine alignment. My Plasma Light Tribe, I've just done an amazing course for the Light Tribe. That's my online community where we did this energy body restructuring, realignment, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going back to master that process that we started. So when you join, you get access to that first workshop, and you can keep going, keep growing, keep evolving into your divine alignment, because it's time for each and every single one of us to release ourselves from the bondage of that skewed matrix, of that darkness that was once feeding off of our energy fields, to return to our true lifespan, to return to who we are as beings of God consciousness, as beings of divine, vital, effervescent light. Lots of love, everyone. Speak to you really soon. Bye-bye for now.